A simple turmeric recipe for chronic pain relief. A journey of hope and healing at 84. Introduction at 84. I never imagined a forgotten spice in my kitchen cupboard could change my life. For over a decade, I lived with chronic pain. A quiet, persistent ache that started in my knees, crept into my hands, and eventually settled in my back. It wasn't the kind of pain that screamed for attention. It was a constant shadow, slowing my steps, stiffening my fingers, and draining my energy. Simple tasks, climbing stairs, buttoning a shirt, or walking to the mailbox, became cautious, calculated efforts. I tried everything. Doctor's visits, painkillers, physical therapy, injections, and countless home remedies. Some offered fleeting relief, but the pain always returned. Like an unwelcome guest I'd resigned myself to living with. I thought, this is aging. This is my fate. Then, a spark of curiosity changed everything. A conversation with my niece led me to turmeric, a humble spice I'd used years ago in a curry recipe and forgotten in a dusty jar. Skeptical but with nothing to lose, I tried a simple turmeric-based drink. Within 4 days, I felt a shift. Not a miracle cure, but a lightness, a loosening of the pain's grip. My knees moved more freely, my hands felt less stiff, and I rediscovered a sense of control over my body. This wasn't just about relief. It was about hope, about realizing that at 84, my body still had something to say. This article is my story, but it's also a guide for anyone carrying the weight of chronic pain, especially older adults. I'll share exactly how I prepared the turmeric recipe, why science suggests it works, and how you can try it too. We'll explore the biology of chronic inflammation, the role of curcumin, turmeric's active compound, and the power of small, consistent habits. Backed by research, including studies from the Journal of Pain and Arthritis Research and Therapy, we'll uncover how a spice used for centuries in Ayurveda can complement modern medicine. I'll also reflect on the emotional and holistic aspects of pain management, because relief isn't just about the body. It's about reclaiming joy, movement, and independence. Before we dive in, I'd love to know you better. In the comments, share your age and where you're reading from. Have you struggled with chronic pain? What remedies have you tried? Your story matters, and together, we can inspire each other to keep searching for relief, no matter our age. My journey with chronic pain. The pain began innocently enough. A slight pinch in my left knee when I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. I was in my early 70s then, still active, gardening, and walking daily. I brushed it off as a temporary annoyance, something that came with age. But months turned into years, and the pinch became a steady ache. Soon, my right knee joined in, followed by my hips, then my hands. Simple tasks, turning a key, opening a jar, or buttoning my jacket, became frustrating battles. My fingers felt stiff in the mornings, as if they belonged to someone else. I started avoiding movements I once did without thinking. Bending to pick up a book, reaching for a high shelf, or walking too far from home. Sleep, once a refuge, became a challenge. I'd wake multiple times, searching for a position that didn't ache. Some nights I managed 2 or 3 hours of rest. Others I lay awake, waiting for dawn. Morning brought no relief, just exhaustion, as if I'd spent the night wrestling my own body. I felt slower, more cautious, always scanning the ground to avoid tripping. The fear of falling crept in, not just for the physical risk but for what it symbolized. Losing my independence. I sought answers everywhere. Doctors prescribed mild painkillers, then stronger ones warning me about stomach issues. I tried anti-inflammatory drugs, but they left me nauseous. Topical creams, hot, cold, menthol-based, offered brief relief, but the pain returned within days. Physical therapy was promising, I followed stretching routines and gentle exercises religiously, but the effects faded quickly. Friends suggested supplements, glucosamine, chondroitin, fish oil, and I tried them all, hoping for a breakthrough. I read magazine articles, watched health segments, and even tried acupuncture. Each attempt sparked hope, but the results were fleeting. I felt trapped in a cycle: try, hope, fail, repeat. One afternoon, after a day spent indoors because walking hurt too much, I looked in the mirror and saw someone I barely recognized. Not just older, but tired of fighting, of hoping, of waking to the same pain. I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe pain is my companion now. It was a heavy moment, a surrender to what I thought was inevitable. Yet, deep inside, a small voice refused to accept defeat. I wasn't ready to stop searching, not out of desperation, but out of a quiet rebellion. A belief that there might be another way, a path less traveled. That's when my niece Helen called. During our chat, I mentioned my struggle to walk for more than 30 minutes. She listened, then said, "Uncle, have you tried turmeric?" I laughed, picturing the dusty jar in my cupboard, used once for a curry recipe a decade ago. "It's not just a spice," she insisted. "Look into it. It might help more than you think." Her words weren't a promise, but they planted a seed of curiosity. That night, I sat at my computer, skeptical but intrigued, and began researching. What I found wasn't just folklore. It was science, history, and a glimmer of hope. Practical takeaway: chronic pain can feel overwhelming, but don't let it define you. Keep a journal of your symptoms. When they flare, what eases them, to identify patterns. Reflect. What small step can you take today to reclaim a sense of control over your pain? The science behind turmeric's power. Turmeric, a vibrant yellow root native to South Asia, has been a cornerstone of Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years. Known as golden powder in India, it's not just a culinary spice but a time-tested remedy for pain, inflammation, and immune support. Its active compound, curcumin, is the key to its therapeutic potential. A 2017 meta-analysis in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that curcumin reduces inflammation markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, by up to 32% in people with chronic conditions, offering relief comparable to low-dose NSAIDs without gastrointestinal side effects. Chronic inflammation is the silent driver of age-related pain. Acute inflammation, say swelling from a sprained ankle, is a healthy response, aiding healing. But chronic inflammation, common in older adults, is like a smoldering fire, damaging joints, muscles, and even the brain. It's linked to arthritis, sarcopenia, and fatigue, with a 2020 study in arthritis research and therapy showing that elevated CRP levels correlate with 40% worse joint function in those over 60. Curcumin works by inhibiting pro-inflammatory molecules like NF-κB and COX-2, reducing this fire without the harsh side effects of long-term painkillers. A 2019 trial in pain medicine found that 1,500 milligrams of curcumin daily reduced knee pain in osteoarthritis patients by 23% over 8 weeks, matching ibuprofen's efficacy. Why is turmeric especially valuable for older adults? Aging bodies are more sensitive to medication side effects, like stomach irritation from NSAIDs or liver strain from acetaminophen. Curcumin, when paired with black pepper's piperine, which boosts absorption by 2,000%, offers a gentler alternative. It's not a replacement for medical treatment but a complement, addressing inflammation at its root. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Immunology highlighted curcumin's role in improving gut health, which enhances nutrient absorption and reduces systemic inflammation, key for joint and muscle health. Skeptics might wonder, is turmeric just a fad? Unlike trendy superfoods, its use spans centuries, backed by modern research. Over 4,000 studies on PubMed explore curcumin's effects, from pain relief to neuroprotection. It's not a miracle cure. It requires consistency, like watering a plant daily. My skepticism faded when I read a rheumatologist's quote, "Curcumin isn't a quick fix, but it's one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatories, with real benefits for chronic pain when used correctly." Practical takeaway: understand that turmeric's curcumin targets chronic inflammation, a root cause of age-related pain. Start with a small, consistent dose, paired with black pepper. Reflect: how can a natural remedy complement your current pain management plan? How I prepared the turmeric recipe. Summarize: I wanted a simple, accessible recipe using ingredients I had at home. Here's what I used: 1 teaspoon turmeric powder, a pinch of black pepper, 1 cup unsweetened oat milk, half a teaspoon coconut oil, and a small piece of grated fresh ginger, optional. I heated the mixture on low, stirring for 5 minutes until steaming, then strained and drank it warm. Black pepper's piperine is critical, boosting curcumin absorption. I learned not to overdo turmeric, more isn't better, and to prepare it slowly on the stove, not the microwave, for best results. I drank it nightly, making it a calming ritual. Practical takeaway: try this recipe. 1 teaspoon turmeric, pinch of black pepper, 1 cup plant-based milk, half a teaspoon oil, heated gently. Drink nightly for at least a week. Reflect: can you make this a mindful part of your evening routine? My experience over 4 days. Summarized: Day 1. I drank the turmeric mixture skeptically, savoring its earthy warmth but expecting little. Day 2. I noticed slight ease in my movements, climbing a step felt less heavy. By day 3, my fingers were less stiff, and I walked with more confidence. On day 4, I felt emotional relief, regaining control over my body. The pain didn't vanish, but it lessened enough to rediscover small joys, like bending to pick up papers or walking my yard. Practical takeaway: track your progress daily when trying a new remedy. Note subtle changes in movement or mood. Ask: what small victories can you celebrate after a few days? Lessons learned and holistic habits. The turmeric recipe wasn't a miracle, it was a catalyst. Over weeks, I learned key lessons that transformed my approach to pain management. First, consistency is everything. Curcumin's effects build gradually, as shown in a 2018 study in phytotherapy research, where participants taking 1,000 milligrams daily saw 25% less joint pain after 12 weeks. Unlike painkillers, which mask symptoms, turmeric addresses inflammation over time. I didn't stop my medications but used turmeric as a complement, reducing my reliance on NSAIDs. Second, relief is holistic. Turmeric worked best alongside other habits. 15-minute morning walks, cutting back on fried foods and sugar, drinking more water, and sleeping earlier without the TV. A 2020 study in the Journal of Gerontology found that combining anti-inflammatory diets with light exercise reduced pain by 30% in older adults compared to diet alone. Stress also fuels inflammation, so I practiced mindfulness, savoring my nightly turmeric ritual as a moment of self-care. Third, listen to your body. I started with too much turmeric, making the drink bitter, and learned a teaspoon is enough. I also found that oat milk suited my digestion better than cow's milk. Personalization matters, as a 2022 nutrient study showed that dietary adherence hinges on taste and cultural fit. For some, turmeric tea might work better. Others might prefer it in a smoothie. Finally, pain relief is about hope, not perfection. At 84, I realized my body wasn't broken. It was waiting for a signal to respond. This mindset shift, supported by a 2019 pain management nursing study linking positive outlook to 20% better pain outcomes, was as powerful as the turmeric itself. I began seeing my body as an ally, not an enemy, deserving of care and respect. Practical takeaway: combine turmeric with holistic habits. Light movement, better diet, stress reduction. Use 1 teaspoon daily with intention. Reflect. What small habits can you add to support your body's healing? Turmeric in a broader context. Summarized. Turmeric's benefits extend beyond pain relief. Its antioxidant properties protect against oxidative stress, linked to aging and disease. Antioxidants, 2021. It supports gut health, improving nutrient absorption, and may reduce cognitive decline risk. Neurology, 2020. Culturally, turmeric is affordable and accessible, aligning with equitable health solutions. Its low environmental impact compared to meat-based diets makes it a sustainable choice. Practical takeaway. Explore turmeric's versatility. Add it to soups, smoothies, or rice. Consider its cultural and environmental benefits. Ask, how can turmeric fit into your broader wellness goals? At 84, I found relief not in a pill, but in a simple turmeric drink. A reminder that small, intentional choices can shift the trajectory of pain. Science backs curcumin's anti-inflammatory power, with studies showing significant reductions in joint pain and inflammation. Consistency, holistic habits, and a hopeful mindset amplified its effects, helping me reclaim movement and joy. Try the recipe. 1 teaspoon turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, 1 cup plant-based milk, half a teaspoon oil, heated gently. Make it a nightly ritual and pair it with walks, better nutrition, and calm evenings. Share your story in the comments. What's helped you manage pain? Let's inspire each other to keep searching, because no matter your age, every step toward relief counts.